Psst, check this out. Hey there, welcome back to the back channel in this New Year's 2025. Happy New Year and happy holidays. I hope you guys had a restful end of the year and are ready to kick off this new year with a bang. Now, some of you are thinking about raising capital right away. It's no surprise that a lot of people put their fundraising activities on pause. That whole Bermuda Triangle of Thanksgiving to Christmas and New Year's, is a real thing, and people are back in action, ready to kick things off. Whether or not you're ready to kick things off in earnest, I think this is a really good time for all of us to be planting seeds and fertilizing our network for the upcoming business development work that we'll be doing, favors that we'll be asking, or maybe fundraisers that we'll be running. So what do I mean by this? It is a piece of advice that I give to a bunch of founders around this time of year, something that I've done pretty regularly over the last few years, and something that I got to just by happenstance from an old friend of mine. So I was, a little bit of a story time here. I was in Thailand, in Vietnam, back in 2019. And going to New Year's there with a few friends. And on New Year's Day, a friend of mine, after a great night on a sunny beach, was enjoying a cocktail and on his phone and just typing away, tapping away. And I asked him what he was doing, and he said he was just sending Happy New Year's notes to friends of his that he hadn't talked to in a while. Just wanted to make sure people knew that he was thinking of them and that he appreciated having them in his life. And I had gotten one of these messages from him in the past and thought about how great it made me feel, and thought about how it made me remember our connection, even though we hadn't seen each other in a bit. As I thought about it, I realized that's all it really takes to make sure that the people in your life who mean something to you, that actually could support you in some of your projects, are ready to do so when you need them. And so what I've tried to do in most years is in that New Year's season, sometime around January, where it's not so crazy that people would see this message come out, is I would prep a message to send to a bunch of people in my network, people that maybe I hadn't talked to in years, or people that I hadn't talked to in the last year. There are a ton of easy to make mistakes when growing a startup. I feel like I've either made them all myself or seen them all as an advisor and investor. One super common one is waiting too long to bring in expert help around managing company finances. I get why that happens though. You're not a tiny company anymore, but you feel like you're not big enough to have an in-house finance team and don't want to waste money. My advice to you is to avoid the mistake of just winging it. This is not a time to fake it till you make it. At least talk to someone early so that you can hear about how the additional help could actually save you money and improve your operations. If you're looking for recommendations on who to talk to, check out Propeller Industries. They've worked with hundreds of venture to growth stage startups, so have a ton of deep knowledge to help you avoid major bumps and set your company up for success, whether it's talking to investors or planning for future growth. Set up a free call by going to fundedpod.com/propeller. That's PROPELLER, and tell them we sent you. They're giving Funded listeners a one-time $2,500 new client credit if you work with them for 3 months. It can be as brief as, hey there, just wanted to say Happy New Year's. I was going through my old contacts and it's been a while. Hope you're well. As brief as that, but I've seen other people also add on a life update, some photos. All those things do a great job of stimulating people in your network to remind them that you exist, not even with such commercial or ulterior motives, but just think about, hey, are there things that we should catch up around? If you have an excuse to reach out to your network and re-stimulate them, I highly recommend you do so. The second story I'll tell you about is not related to New Year's or New Year's messages, but instead about the work that we do with founders trying to help them raise capital. one of those things is to go super deep into your network to find connections to investors and reach out and ask them if they would be able to make introductions to a few people that we've seen they are connected to. And every time we do this for founders, we'll do hundreds and hundreds of messages for them. There are tons of those messages where the initial part of the response is, I don't know any of these people. But the really exciting things that come out of that are the follow-ups to that part of the message, which is, well, how the hell are you? I don't know any of these people, but how the hell are you? It opens the door to reconnection. It opens the door to finding out what these people are doing in their lives. And it opens the door to potential ways to help each other. So in this New Year's, I'd highly recommend you find a reason to go through your whole network, write down the people that you think are interesting in your network, and find an excuse to say hi. It could be just Happy New Year's, how are you doing? And it could be a more detailed update. All right. Thanks for joining me for this Happy New Year's episode of the Back Channel, and we'll see you next time.